Hi everyone, it's Rose, your Filipino friend. Welcome back to our channel, which by the way, thanks to you guys, we are now monetized. We're gonna be rich soon, right? Today's video is super special. We're sharing the story of how I met my amazing husband, how our love story began, and how we got married just 6 months later. But first, I've asked my husband to come on and properly introduce himself so you can get to know him better. Please stick around. I'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm BC. First, I want to apologize because I'm here and you're probably expecting to see Rose, my beautiful wife, but she insisted that I finally formally introduce myself. And don't worry, she will be joining us in a few minutes, so please stick around if you're mostly here to see my beautiful wife's face and not mine. If you're tempted to skip ahead, I get it, but if you are curious about my origin story, here's the short version. 2 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, Do Magic Together, because I was inspired by meeting Rose, who's now my wife. And I wanted to document our relationship, our travel together, and our adventures. I grabbed the domain DoMagicTogether.com. I set up all the social media accounts under the same handle, and I thought, I'm pretty much done. That'll be easy. Spoiler alert, it was not easy. I never really wanted to be a YouTuber. I'm shy, especially camera shy. And more than that, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I realized how much effort goes into making a YouTube video, and I probably didn't want to release anything until it was like amazing, you know? But to make something amazing requires a lot of effort, and I'm also lazy. So becoming a YouTuber is probably not the right job for someone that's lazy and a perfectionist and shy. I actually ended up handing the channel over to Rose, and I was like, hey, look, I promise I'll be more involved with the channel once I feel a bit more comfortable, but why don't you put out a few videos first? And I thought, okay, I'll never have to deal with this again. But Rose ended up making like 15 or 16 really good videos, and now our YouTube channel is monetized, and that's really encouraging. She has put me in a couple other videos. I'm the guy that is talking way too much and talks over her, apparently, according to some of the comments, which is true. But she does ask me to talk because she feels like her English isn't very strong. She did ask me to say a few words to sort of introduce myself formally, and I promised her that I would get involved once the channel is monetized. And as a man of my word, the channel being monetized today means that I have to get involved today. We love other creator channels like Spirit Animals, Sailing Parlay Revival, Gone with the Winds. These are all sailing channels, something that we aspire to do ourselves in the future. Rose and I have been talking about it for the past week or so, like, let's really make something of our channel. Let's try to do something that like draws the viewers in, like some of our favorite creator channels have done. Like, we really want to involve you in the story, our lives, our adventures together, just like those other channels do. I've been an entrepreneur, a printer, a builder, a writer, a web developer for most of my adult life. But when I was in college, I double majored in English Lit and film because I really liked the idea of telling a great story. I'll start by telling you a little bit about my story, how I ended up here in the Philippines and married to a beautiful Filipina. In 2021, after my divorce, I was living in a posh ski town in Colorado, up in the mountains. And I tried other dating apps like Tinder and Hinge. Most of the women that were willing to go out with me were in their mid to late 30s. Nothing wrong with that. Some of them were like desperately in a hurry to pop out children before their biological time clocks ran out. And the others were like girl bossing their way through successful careers and wanted to continue doing so right into menopause. And that's all fine and good. I really felt like I had to choose between either becoming a sperm donor or a sidekick in someone else's already established life. I guess the point of my little intro here is because I was feeling hopeless. If you're a Westerner struggling with dating, or you're just tired of all the options back home, or the lack thereof. Don't give up. There are millions of amazing women worldwide who will value you for more than just your wealth. They will value your humor, your personality, even your pointy nose. No joke. In Asia, Western men stand out and they're appreciated. I've met dozens of men in their 60s or more who have very attractive Filipinas half their age that actually love them. It's incredible. Sure, not every woman in Asia is perfect. It's like everywhere else. There are gold diggers and there are scammers like everywhere. But most of the women in the Philippines prioritize love and stability and traditional values like cooking and caring for their partner. Don't be broke, but you definitely don't have to be rich either. Well, I recommend having at least $2,000 a month in the Philippines, or probably most of the places in Southeast Asia. You could get away with $1,000, like $1,000 a month. That's pretty low for a Westerner. And that's well above the average income in the Philippines. So it doesn't take much to build a secure and happy life with someone new. Being a passport bro gets mocked, but why? You only have one life. And as far as I'm concerned, you're entitled to do everything in your power to explore every corner of the world, to extract as much happiness as you possibly can while you're on this earth. If you're starting from scratch and haven't met anyone in the Philippines yet, I definitely have some advice on which countries might be better to look at first if you want to avoid the whole visa absurdities that my wife and I have had to deal with for the past 18 months. So please subscribe to this channel for an upcoming video that covers all those details. I'm also planning a video on key relationship skills I've learned once you find your dream woman. Because once you find her, you don't want to lose her, right? And we're not all perfect. I certainly wasn't. So maybe one of my future videos can help on that. So please subscribe and be on the lookout. Anyway, I've rambled on for way too long. Thanks for hearing me out. Now, Rose and I are going to go downstairs and talk about how we first met. So before Rose and I met, we both had, let's put it this way, not ideal situations. Do you want to tell us about
My past
like the
relationship.
year before you met me?
Yeah, that the first year that I still didn't met him. So I have two past relationship. The first one, I have a Filipino boyfriend when I was 19. And that happened, it didn't work, both of us, because he cheated on me. So we actually just 1 month. So yeah.
How long did you cry about him?
So the second one, after 6 months, I met the guy that I only know through the dating site. He was Italian, and
Probably still is.
when he go here, I thought that he was serious about our relationship, but I didn't know that he's only going here in the Philippines just to have a vacation. When he go back to Germany, after a couple of days, he blocked me.
Oh, wow. Like blocked you on Facebook?
Yes. And then I was like, I don't know how to react because I thought that he was serious about it, but he wasn't. So fast forward, I think I'm about turning 21 that time, and it's past 6 months again. I just found this app in Google, and a
What
lot
was it
of
called?
like the Dating Asia, that one of my friends just recommend that app. That's where they met their boyfriends. So I tried that app, and I think I've been there for almost a month before I met you. But I met like few men there, and they are really nice. But on what I actually looking for, I'm looking for someone who doesn't have kids, doesn't have family, you know.
I mean, that's
But-
fair because you know that they have to split their attention and
Yeah.
probably some of their money by supporting another woman or another set of women with
Yeah.
children.
But my thing is, I didn't ask you anything, right? Like the first time that we talked, I didn't ask you anything.
Yeah, I think
Like-
that's just because she was going to write me off because she thought I was a psychopath, right? A
Yes.
serial killer.
I know. I was just like, I was thinking, should I meet him? Because at that time there is news that
Right.
the guy killed the Filipino and put it on the drum. I'm not sure. It's just like
I can relate with why he wanted to do that.
the first time that I'm going to talk to someone in a dating site, I always ask if can I call you on the video chat or video call, because we don't know if he was real or not.
Yeah,
I'm also in a dating site. It's because I want to improve my English. That's the
right.
main one. That's the main goal. My perspective when it comes on dating, it's actually fun, but at the same time, you just need to be careful because you don't know that the other person showing you that they are serious, but when they are going here, they just you become one of the woman.
Yeah, it told me also that the other problem was you'd find out that like these guys, just similar to the Italian guy, they kind of come to the Philippines and they're just looking for a temporary girlfriend while they're in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And they've been here many, many times. So that was a big red flag for you. A lot
Yeah.
of guys
I mean,
that have been to the Philippines for like the fourth or fifth time. It's like, why are you coming back so often?
actually, it's not only me. Like some of my friends, is I don't say all. We prefer that because we knew that if the foreigner been here many many times in the Philippines, like you don't know if there's a lot.
He
He
probably
met.
has a high body count.
I know.
That's similar to guys that are looking for, I think, younger women,
Yeah.
because the younger in the Philippines, like really, like less partners. Not so much in America. Like even 21-year-olds can have 10, 20 or more partners by the time they're 21. But in the Philippines, like if they're 21, very good chance that they're still a virgin or only had one or
Yeah.
two partners. I will say this: I think guys, you need to be careful because if I recall correctly, about 25% of the listings that were in the Date in Asia site anyway were probably like prostitutes or something like that,
Yeah.
or spam or scammers or whatever. So never even bring up money. If anyone even mentions money within the first month of you chatting, just
Yeah.
forget about that. You don't want to deal with that because it might be a scam, but even if it's not, it's like they're already asking you for money. Like if you decide that you want to give a little bit of money later on, if it's your decision, okay. But if they're asking, that's a big red flag, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Same with the woman. Like she wants to know, is this guy a player? Does he just want to use my body for when he's on vacation?
Yeah.
Am I just one of many girlfriends? Is he married? Like a lot of the women on the sites, their aim is to get married. And if you're already married, then obviously that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
People lie about that, but don't waste their time because there are actually genuinely good women. Well, I found one like within a couple of days. I was lucky. I was only on the site for about 2 days, honestly. I think met your profile anyway on the second day.
Oh yeah, because we actually matched the first day, and then the second day you.
Yeah, like I honestly didn't really like her photo, and she thought I was a serial killer. So we didn't immediately talk to each other, but eventually, like, I wrote sort of like one or two sentence intros, and most of the girls that were responding to me would just respond with like one or two words.
Yeah.
She actually wrote back like a decent response and almost immediately asked to join on the video
Video
chat.
call,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, let's do it. I mean, I was nervous, but we did it right away. And then I
Yeah.
realized, I actually preferred the video chat image over her like overly makeup photo.
So what's your dating experience?
I mean, I'd been on like Hinge and Tinder or whatever for about a year at that point. And then another 6 months later, I started dating again. And then I met this pretty nice girl and we started seeing each other for a whole month. And then at the end of the month, she's like, well, I have to go back to another state, which was like on the other side of the country, basically. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I love that area. I'd love to visit you. And she's like, well, I don't know about that. My boyfriend out there probably wouldn't appreciate it. I'm like, what? Your boyfriend? She's like, well, you didn't think we were exclusive, did you? It's like, don't worry, he's just my boyfriend over there. You can be my boyfriend here. I'm like, oh, well, in that case. And I'm like, no, this is horrible. And I actually really liked her. So I was kind of devastated about it.
So
I had already had like 8 bad experiences over the course of a year, basically. And then I started watching YouTubes, and Filipina Pea came up because I was thinking about doing a trip to Asia, and the algorithm probably suggested her. And I started watching all of her videos. And then one video, she interviewed this couple that had a huge age gap. I'll link the video right here. But basically, if I recall correctly, the guy was like 59 at the time, and the female Filipina was 21. So they had like a 38-year age gap. She interviewed this couple maybe 10 years later. So I think she was like 30 something and he was almost 70. And so I'm looking at this thumbnail of this guy, this older gentleman. I'm like, wow, if that guy can get a girl like that, then maybe there's hope for me. And I was like pretty excited about it. And I listened intently for like the dating app that they said that they met each other on. And it was dateinasia.com.
Yeah.
And so I logged on like almost immediately. And within 2 days, I found Rose. And I was like, wow, this like Filipina Pea like is directly responsible, that video anyway.
Yeah.
Directly responsible for us getting together. So I have enormous gratitude for her and her channel. I watched a bunch of channels. She definitely recommends not like falling in love with a Filipina over the internet and then just sending money and stuff, you know. And I just disobeyed all of that because I trusted her. But I came out here pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I did meet her within, 2 months of us starting our chat. 6 months later, we were married, basically.
Yeah, like it's pretty amazing because I never met someone who was talking to me 5 hours every single day. Like I actually believe that if the man is really interested to you, they will give you time.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm pretty impressed that he actually gave me time. I think he's just lucky because his job is in the house.
Yeah, that, and I had really learned my lesson because I had been divorced, and my ex-wife's, if you learn the 5 love languages, well, her number one love language was quality time, which was the one thing I barely gave her because I was often so busy or literally out of state.
Yeah.
If I ever am lucky enough to fall in love again, I'm not going to screw it up by not spending enough time with them. I guess I learned my lesson a little bit on that one. Anyway, hopefully this cut is about near the end because now we want to talk about what we're going to talk about in our next video. Like we sort of mentioned some of the problems that we encountered with the various visas that we had to get. And we thought it'd be a really good idea to explain to you what we went through as a UK citizen that wanted to bring my Filipina to the United Kingdom as either a fiance or as a married person, and like why we decided to go one way or another. And we're going to discuss all of the many, many mistakes that we made along the way so that you, if you're in the visa process, don't make these mistakes.
Yeah.
Like we definitely have some good advice for you. Be on the lookout for that video. It's kind of exciting. And then we'll give you an update on next week on where we're at because we're still waiting to get her stamp. But that's why we're in Makati. We came from Boracay.
Yes.
And we came to Makati because they basically said that they're ready to stamp her passport. Unfortunately, and we'll explain this next week, but she has a different passport now with her new married name. And so they're like, oh, this doesn't match up. So now we have to wait even longer.
Yeah, that's for our next video.
Yeah, that's for next time.
Yeah.
But be on the lookout. Thanks for
watching
this one, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and leave comments, and please give us all your questions if you have anything related to like getting a visa or getting married.
We're happy to answer that.
Yeah, maybe.